Hello, my friends. Peace, shalom, salam, aloha, namaste. Blessed be, and may the Great Spirit walk with you. My name is Jonathan Riddell, Director of Christian Education at the First Congregational Church in Chappaqua. And on Monday, we have another very wonderful holiday to celebrate, Martin Luther King Day. This is one of my favorite holidays of the year. We don't give gifts, we don't have parades, we don't decorate our houses, there isn't a long list of traditions to do. We simply honor the life of one man who inspired millions of people to do the right thing and to make great changes in this country and all over the world. A person who preached love, kindness, fairness, justice, and respect for all people. What could be a better thing to celebrate than that? Martin Luther King Jr. was alive in this country when we still had laws that separated black people from white people. This is called segregation. Black people, simply because of their skin color, had to attend different schools from whites, eat at different restaurants, pray in different churches, go to different bathrooms even, and use different water fountains. And let's be clear, what the blacks had was not equal to what the whites had. Black schools, for example, often had books that were old and out of date. Their buildings were often run down. Sometimes they were far away from where the children lived. If something broke, it took a long time to get fixed. Now, before this, things were even worse. Black people were once slaves in this country. But even though slavery ended and the law said that all people were free, very few black people were treated equally to whites. And if you have ever been singled out or treated unfairly by another group of people, even for a moment or an hour or a day, you know how scary and sad and frustrating that can be. That is not a healthy feeling. That is a sick feeling. You are not really free. Imagine living that way every single day, every moment of your life. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke up about this. He spoke up about how unfair it was to treat anyone differently just because of their skin color. He and many others started to protest, to come together and march in the streets and to hold big gatherings to talk about this problem. More and more people joined in the protests and the talks until millions of people were asking the government to change the laws. And this time to make sure the laws said that black people and all races of people need to be treated equally and have the chance to live in the same neighborhoods and do the same work and be allowed in all the same buildings and hospitals and churches. Even though this was a big change, and change can scare some people, in the end it allowed people of all colors to come together, to mix, to talk, to become better friends, and to love one another more. Life in this country is so much better because of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and people like him. But things still aren't perfect. Even today, there are still those who want to separate black people from white people, and other colors too. Even today, some people say that different races and different cultures are not as good as their own, and want their communities to only have one race of people, and want to be able to treat others unfairly, even violently. This is called racism, and though a lot of it has gone away over the years, it's still around. It's kind of like a disease or a virus. It's hard to get rid of completely. We have to make sure it keeps going away and never spreads again. That's why having a holiday like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, or MLK Day for short, is so important. A day to take off of work or school and remember this great leader and all he fought for. Every year I read some of his speeches or watch or listen to them on YouTube. They are so easy to find, and I want you all to find them and be able to hear them, especially his most famous speech, the one we call I Have a Dream. Hearing his words helps us to imagine what a world without racism might look like. A world where people aren't just free and equal in the eyes of the law, but in the hearts and minds of every person. And even though I understand this idea and have heard his speech many, many times, listening to it fills me with new hope and inspiration every time. It's like listening to a favorite song. I believe, like Martin Luther King Jr., that this is God's will for us, that this is what loving one another and having peace on earth means. And I believe that we can make it so by loving one another today. Thank you, Dr. King, and amen to that. All right, my children, I love you very much. Enjoy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and make sure you listen to some of his speeches. All right, take care. Bye-bye.